The first two finders. Very next day, the first golden ticket was found. The finder was a boy named Augustus Gloop, and Mr. Bucket's newspaper carried a large picture of him on the front page. The picture showed a 9-year-old boy who was so enormously fat he looked as though he'd been blown up with a powerful pump. Great flabby folds of fat bulged out from every part of his body, and his face was like a monstrous ball of dough, with two small, greedy, curranty eyes peering out upon the world. The town in which Augustus Gloop lived, the newspaper said, had gone wild with excitement over their hero. Flags were flying from all the windows, children had been given a holiday from school, and a parade was being organised in honour of the famous youth. "I just knew Augustus would find a golden ticket," his mother had told the newspaper men. "He eats so many chocolate bars that it was almost impossible for him not to find one. Eating is his hobby, you know. That's all he's interested in. But still, that's better than being a hooligan and shooting off zip guns and things like that in his spare time, isn't it? And what I always say is, he wouldn't go on eating like that, like he does, unless he needed nourishment. Would he? It's all vitamins anyway. What a thrill it will be for him to visit Mr. Wonka's marvellous factory. We're just as proud as anything." "What a revolting woman," said Grandma Josephine. "And what a repulsive boy," said Grandma Georgina. "Only 4 golden tickets left," said Grandpa George. "I wonder who'll get those." Now the whole country, indeed the whole world, seemed suddenly to be caught up in a mad chocolate buying spree, suddenly searching frantically for those precious remaining tickets. Fully grown men were seen going into sweet shops and buying 10 Wonka bars at a time, then tearing off the wrappers on the spot and peering eagerly underneath for a glint of golden paper. Children were taking hammers and smashing their piggy banks and running out to the shops with handfuls of money. In one city, a famous gangster robbed a bank of £1,000 and spent the whole lot on Wonka bars the same afternoon. And when the police entered his house to arrest him, they found him sitting on the floor amidst mountains of chocolate, ripping off the wrappers with the blade of a long dagger. In far-off Russia, a woman called Charlotte Roos claimed to have found the second ticket, but it turned out to be a clever fake. The famous English scientist Professor Foulbody invented a machine which would tell you at once, without opening the wrapper of a bar of chocolate, whether or not there was a golden ticket hidden underneath. The machine had a mechanical arm that shot out with tremendous force, grabbed hold of anything that had the slightest bit of gold inside it, and for a moment it looked like the answer to everything. But unfortunately, while the professor was showing off the machine to the public at the sweet counter of a large department store, the mechanical arm shot out and made a grab for a gold filling in the back tooth of a duchess who was standing nearby. There was an ugly scene. The machine was smashed by the crowd. Suddenly, on the day before Charlie Bucket's birthday, the newspapers announced that the second golden ticket had been found. The lucky person was a small girl called Veruca Salt, who lived with her rich parents in a great city far away. Once again, Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a big picture of the finder. She was sitting between her beaming father and mother in the living room of their house, waving the golden ticket above her head and grinning from ear to ear. There's a picture over there. Veruca's father, Mr. Salt, had eagerly explained to the newspapermen exactly how the ticket was found. "You see, boys," he said, "as soon as my little girl told me that she simply had to have one of those golden tickets, I went out into town and started buying up all the Willy Wonka bars I could lay my hands on, thousands of them. I must have bought hundreds of them, of thousands. Then I had them loaded onto trucks and sent directly to my factory. I'm in the peanut business, you see, and I've got about 100 women working for me over at my place, shelling peanuts for roasting and salting. That's what they do all day long, those women. They sit there shelling peanuts. So I says to them, OK girls, I says, from now on you can stop shelling peanuts and start shelling the wrappers off these chocolate bars instead. And they did. I had every worker in the place yanking papers off those bars of chocolate full speed ahead from morning till night. But 3 days went by and we had no luck, and it was terrible. My little Veruca got more and more upset each day, and every night I went home and she would scream at me, "Where's my golden ticket? I want my golden ticket!" Oh, and she would lie on the floor for hours kicking and yelling at the most disturbing way. Well, I just hated to see my little girl feeling happy like that, so I vowed I would keep up the search until I got what she wanted. And then suddenly, on the evening of the 4th day, one of my women workers yelled, And I said, give it to me quick. And she did. And I rushed it home and gave it to my darling Veruca. And now she's all smiles and we have a happy home again. Oh, that's even worse than the fat boy, said Grandma Josephine. She needs a really good spanking, said Grandma Georgina. I don't think the girl's father played it quite fair, Grandpa. Do you? Charlie murmured. He spoils her, Grandpa Joe said, and no good can ever come from spoiling a child like that. Charlie, you mark my words. Come to bed, my darling, said Charlie's mother. Tomorrow's your birthday. Don't forget that. So expect you'll be up early to open your present. A Wonka chocolate bar, cried Charlie. It is a Wonka bar, isn't it? Yes, my love, his mother said. Of course it is. Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if I found the third golden ticket inside, Charlie said. Bring it here. When you get it, said Grandpa Joe, then we can all watch you taking off the wrapper. Chapter 7 is Charlie's birthday. I will read that tonight.
Remember to not miss out on Chapter 7.